Hey, hello everyone and welcome to Extreme Graphics Tech. Well, today we are going to be having a very quick and not very in-depth look at Wo Long. And well, this is one of those Souls game made by Koei. I never did for this channel, but in my Spanish channel, I did the review, the analysis for Neo 2. And I said in that analysis that it seems that Koei is stuck in time. The way I see the engine Koei uses for their game is like these are PlayStation 3 engine and it's just forced to render in HD, and that they have been putting patch over the same render, but they have never really changed the interns of the render. So they use like brute force to try to put some like more particles, a little bit better lighting and so on, but the roots of the engine are still like 2 decades ago. It's a very old on every way, and I don't know why Koei hasn't updated this. And you can see this game, it doesn't look that great, and the port is a mess, and I think it's because of this like brute force strategy that they are using to try to make the engine have better graphics. But it's not just the graphic part of this game that is a mess, it's everything on the PC side. Well, at least on the moment I play, I don't know if there is a patch already for it, but I was using an Xbox controller and the game was telling me to press triangle, X, circle and square buttons, and I was like, what? So I always had to look at the controller or try to remember the PlayStation 1 to know what I was supposed to be pressing. So it was super weird. So it makes no sense that a game comes out in like this for PC. Honestly, this is just ridiculous. I don't know why that was, but it makes absolutely no sense. Maybe I had to set something up on Steam or something, but well, I have no idea. Then when we talk about the settings are the most crazy thing I have ever seen. So you have modes inside modes. There is this mode that says prioritize resolution and prioritize FPS, and then you have like the settings types is standard, and everything is like either on or off. So and to explain this, you have these standard settings, which are like low, medium, and high, I suppose. But then you have these other settings that says prioritize resolution or prioritize FPS, and what that means basically is that you are going to be using like some sort of checkerboard rendering if you choose prioritize FPS. So, but that's not clear, and you don't know. It's very confusing. You have to start, playing with the option to understand what it is that they do. It's so bizarre that a game that comes for PC is just like that. It's like they just took the same menu from consoles and just added couple of options, and that's what you get on PC. Really, Koei needs to do something about this, because the way they're porting games to PC is almost disrespectful to the PC community. And I will say that all the negative reviews just because of that are more than okay by my book, because you cannot release a game in this state. And this is not even, has nothing to do with the technical part of it necessarily, but man, this is rough. And then I had to say, it's not like this, if you see the images, the game seems to be running quite good, quite okay. The graphics are well, as I said, it seemed like I'm running a PlayStation 3 game through an emulator upscaling to 4K. But that's not a big deal, you can say, well, I enjoy this. The main problem is that I was playing this just to capture B-roll, and then when I started to capture like statistics, I saw my 4090 going 100% and just delivering 90 out to 100 FPS. And normally I would say that's okay depending on the game, but not on a game that looked like this. And that's when I started worrying, because I said, oh my god, this is the RTX 4090 with my 13700KF doing this. So what can we expect when we try to run it on like a lower spec system, GPU wise? Because on the CPU side, the game is not very demanding. You can get quite good FPS even with lower end CPUs, but on the GPU side, I was like, this is going to be rough. this is crazy. Look, this is 100% utilization on 363 watts of powers on a 4090. On all I'm getting is this on a game that looks like this. So when I started testing with the 1060 GTX 1060, the only way to even get to 60 FPS was to put the game basically on low and then prioritize performance with using some sort of reconstruction. Yes, I know the 1060 is a very old car, and normally I will say, you know, it's okay to play games at 30 FPS. But when you see other games that look so much better than this one, running better than this one, then I just can't understand what's going on with this game and why the performance is so bad. As I said, for me, it's a problem with the engine because it's still using like brute force to try to get better graphics instead of optimization and using new technologies. That's the only explanation I have, especially when you put your cinematics at 30 FPS. By the way, if you don't see too much footage beyond this boss, it's because I was never able to beat it. I'm not very good at Souls-like games, and I even tried to find some trainer or cheat, or try to cheat myself just to try to show more of the other areas of the game, but I was not able to. I only beat like the first stage of the boss, and I thought I was victorious, and then I saw, oh, this is just the first stage, and then I was obliterated. So I was never able to show beyond this boss. Well, it doesn't matter, it's just a first look at the game anyway. Then, you know, as usual, I like to try with the ARC 750 to give everyone who has an ARC 750 car just an idea of how well the game will run. Well, you know, I think the ARC could have done better, but this game is just a disaster. It's 1080p. We are prioritizing resolution, so we are not using that checkerboard with thing, and we're using standard settings just to try to get to 60 FPS. But the problem is, as you can see, even though many times you can see that we are at 60 FPS, the frame time is all over the place, making the game feel really, really, really bad. Doesn't matter that the game is saying that you are running at 59 or 60 FPS. So I don't know if this frame time thing is a part of the, you know, what makes the games difficult, like Souls-like, so it's part of the gameplay. Because even when we tested with the 2060, you know, just a more tested car just to try to have an idea, the game was still running very bad when it came to frame time, like horribly bad. Even if you put the game in like the lower possible quality and the, using everything just to improve performance, the game doesn't run like that smooth. So it's the only time I saw this game running smooth was on the 4090, and I think it's just because I was able to get to around 100 frames per second. The other problem the game has is that I couldn't get over 60 FPS on my test system because it was detecting, I think, that the monitor was just at 60 FPS. It was 60 hertz, sorry, so it wouldn't allow me to just unlock the frame and just let me go as fast as I can, just at least to have a performance metric or to make the performance a little bit smoother. No, the games is like, okay, that's the maximum you can get. You can put the game at 30 FPS or at 60 FPS. Oh, my 4090 connected to a 144 monitor, it allowed me to put 120 FPS as the limit. So that's another problem, because even disabled VSync, you could not just allow the game to go over 60, which makes things even weirder. This is you know, it's a shame, because I think this is a very good game. I was really hooked, and even though I'm very bad, I really wanted to keep playing because I think it's more accessible thanks to the magic and all the stuff that you can get during the game. But unfortunately, the game is not very optimized on PC, and well, on consoles, it's not that it runs better, it's that it's limited to run at the resolution and settings that the company wants to. But I will say Koei Tecmo really needs to improve their tech.